everyone. This is Emily at Happiness and Books. Today I'm going to go over with you my December TBR, the 9 books I'll be reading. And I have a particular strategy of how I read 9 novels per month and read 108 books per year. And I'm going to release a video in the next day or two telling you my strategy mathematically, my scheduling, my selection, how I do that, so you can set a New Year's goal to do the same thing. I'm just finishing my first year at this strategy, and at the end of December, I'll have reached 108 books. So for now, I'm going to go over my December TBR with you. 3 of them I've already started, so I can give some personal feedback and tell you what I think so far. I'm about a third of the way in. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm recovering from surgery I had a few days ago. So I've been out down in the mouth about the last 2 weeks, a little behind in my videos, but let's get started. The first one I wanted to show you is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. Have not started this one yet. It's by Ali Carter. First thing I want to say is the cover on this is gorgeous. Now, this was my Amazon version. They have made this actually a book of the month selection. And when the book of the month selections came up, I didn't buy it because I already had it. The paper in this one is a little nicer. It's more white versus cream color, that kind of cream color, thinner paper you get from the book of the month. That's how they make them so cheap. So honestly, I like the nicer version. So here's the back of it. And she is a New York Times bestselling author, and I love the kind of the vintage cover, the vintage feel of this. So this book has a real Agatha Christie, and Then There Were None, maybe even a little Haunting of Venice in their style. But basically, it's about a very famous crime writer, a suspense mystery writer, I guess you could say, who vanishes from a locked, closed room, and no one can figure it out during kind of like a raging snowstorm. This writer and others get invited to this sort of mansion, I guess, by an all-time favorite fan of this writer, which is very reminiscent of Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, when everyone gets invited to this estate, someone dies, and it's kind of like a Clue whodunit kind of a thing. Kind of like that, except they're trying to discover where the missing author went. So it sounds really cute and fascinating. I've read a lot of good reviews. It gets amazing reviews. I'm excited to read this one, and it's pretty. This says, Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers Christmas romance mystery from New York Times bestselling author Ali Carter. Meet Maggie, Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the queen of the cozy mystery. He's Mr. Big Time Thriller guy, and she hates his guts. And then she goes missing. So I'm really excited to read this. Have not started. I'm going to talk about the 3 I have started so far. The first one is by someone who has a very obvious pen name. This is The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore. Yes, sounds like Lorelai Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls, and she does reference in her foreword the Gilmore Girls. This is kind of a clean, cute holiday romance. A little more racy than like a clean Hallmark movie. There's some, a little more sexual innuendos, but in a PG-13 kind of a way, and not like a PG or G, or not like an R rated. Cute little cover. This author also wrote The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which also were released last month. I have not read those yet, but I have them. I ran out of time for my autumn reads, but I did start this one, and I'm about page 130 now. And this is Amazon book. So far, I can tell you it's really cute. It does feel like a Hallmark movie you would see, but done in more of a contemporary movie theater movie style, not like a cheesy Hallmark. And there are some good Hallmark Christmas movies. I do tend to watch a lot. I also stop a lot of them 1/3 of the way in because they're terrible. But there are some that are really good. The older ones tend to be better. This reminds me of one of the older ones, but more of like a contemporary. And so it's about a girl, a twin. Her twin gets married, moves away, so she's depressed. She goes to New England. She buys an old rundown farmhouse on a Christmas tree farm, spends all her money on it. She's dead broke. Her goal is to sell all the trees and everything on the lot on this farm to use the money to renovate the house. And of course, she has no idea what she's doing. There's no heat, there's no power, she has no money. She doesn't know anything about Christmas trees. So it's a disaster, and there's a guy here who's obviously the romance guy. I could say hero, but it's not like a historical romance. Who is staying in town for the holidays, who is the brother of the main character who is shown in this book, who was featured in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the one who started the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. She's in this book vaguely as like a town member, and her brother is there visiting, and he's the one who, there's a mystery surrounding the Christmas tree farm. There's supposed to have been like a murder there, or dead bodies or something on the farm, and they send the brother in to kind of figure it out kind of nonchalantly. You can assume it's going to backfire. And there's the girl, Kara, who owns this Christmas tree farm. She's very off-putting. Nobody likes her a lot, but they want to like her. She doesn't want anyone's help. She's super independent. She's annoyed everyone's trying to like bring her cookies and welcome to the town, and she wants her privacy. Because she feels like a failure. She's embarrassed by how poorly it's going. So far I'm enjoying it. It's a real easy read. The chapters are short. This is a smaller 5x8 book. So I like that a lot. Next is, it just got remarkably darker in here. Okay. We are going to talk next about, boy, do I have a lot to say about this book. This is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Okay, so I'm about 200 pages into this. There's going to be some R-rated exclaimers here. Do not let this cover fool you. This even says on here, the charming holiday romp, and then it refers on the back to a cute rom-com. The cover indicates cute, sweet rom-com, holiday rom-com, kind of maybe like a holiday version of Miss Congeniality, or again, a Hallmark movie. The cover is misleading. Hear me. This is an R-rated book. And I'm no prude. Like, I read romance. I've read 50 Shades of Grey. This is like a combination of a 50 Shades of Grey in a cute holiday, sweet setting at Christmas, with a porn R-rated theme and background. It's blowing my mind. I feel almost disappointed because that's not what I thought I was getting. I'm not saying I wouldn't have read that, but I want to know I'm reading that before I read it. This is totally misleading. So my first okay, so this is about a girl who's a plus size porn star model, no joke, which in essence has some issues with that concept as well. I'm not going to go there because I'm plus size, but it's just not like a thing you really see. But anyway, and every guy in the world wants her, which is the feel I get is that a plus size girl, the two girls wrote this book, I guess, wrote this and want it to be this way, but I don't really feel it's like that realistically. Anyway, so this plus size sex icon gets an offer to do a Christmas movie for a channel called, oh my God, my hair. I'm so post-surgery right now. For a channel called Hope Flicks, like Netflix, but or I don't know, something like that. I can't remember. But I'm so like shocked every time I read a chapter that I these little details are not like sticking with me. And she gets an offer to do a Christmas movie, which is her dream. She goes and does a Christmas movie with a heartthrob guy who's a normal actor that like every girl apparently in the world wants this guy, like a Brad Pitt kind of a guy or a major actor or something. And this is the book we're talking about. Keep in mind, this does not look like what it seems inside. I'm going to fix my hair. So anyway, it's driving me crazy. So she doesn't want anyone to know on this movie set what her background is, that she's a porn star. However, the main actor who gets put onto the movie set with her for the Christmas movie, his name is Nolan. He knows who she is because she changes her name. Instead of Bianca, she's calling herself B for the Christmas movie. And apparently, and it's referred to by this guy over and over that she is his wet dream girl, and he was her childhood or youth heartthrob, dream actor guy, whatever. So the issues I have with this is it's supposed to be a romance, right? But it's so sexualized that the porn star stuff is supposed to be in the background. She's supposed to be a Christmas movie actress now. She's trying to do normal stuff and or whatever and get out of that. But like, obviously it's about these two who are put on the movie set of a Christmas movie together to kind of fall in love. Obviously, you can assume that there's tension. They usually don't like each other, but they have secret thoughts, so they really do like each other. But it's like every stinking chapter is about masturbation. Like every chapter, like as soon as he sees her, he wants to go get a bottle of gingerbread lotion and I'm just gonna say he wants to go jerk off. Every chapter he's wanting to jerk off just to the sight of her, or getting close to her on the Christmas movie set, or it's in his thought, it's in his actual action. They show him doing that several times. Then they have her doing it several times, masturbating to the thought of him because he's so sexy. And then they finally like are on a movie set alone or right before a movie set, and they did a kiss in the movie, which made him want to just get a hard dick instantly. I'm just gonna have to say it like it is, you guys. Just like, he doesn't even like be like, she's such a nice person, she's so sweet and she's so kind and love personality. It's like she's sexy, she gives me a boner, she makes me want to jerk off. It's like all of this is all he constantly thinks about her and even says about her to his friend. And then it's so like he's disgustingly like sexualizing her because of what she used to do, like as a really big plus size porn model. Like I the whole thing is outlandish. I mean, the irony is the story is good, but this part kills it for me. But I'm still gonna finish the book. But it's just so there's nothing about him being interested in her for any other reason. And then there's a scene where they kiss, right? And they finally end up humping and grinding each other, standing up and both getting off through their clothes. It's all about horniness, masturbating, and orgasms. And it's like, I'm halfway through the book, and it's like they're. So I'm just, I think the writer should have cut that down a little bit to make any potential romance that's going to come out of that, because I've only read half the book. It's going to be hard to overcome the image it's set so far. I will give you my full review when I finish at the end of the month, but it is just like, I think it's gross. I think it's, and then, then she finds out that he knows who she was a porn star, and she thought nobody knew, and of course she's devastated and thinks that's all he's interested in her for, which is how they portray him as like a perv, like that's all he cares about. Like this book was written by two girls who somehow want plus size women to be super super sexy, like every guy's dream, whatever, and that is obviously turned on by these kind of scenes is the impression that I'm getting. And I don't feel like any of it's realistic. So I'm going to stop there because it just gets on my nerves. Ironically, the writing is really witty. It's good. The concept is decent. I would have loved any other background besides porn background, because cute holiday romance rom-com doesn't meet the X-rated style of this book. So just be aware. Okay, the next, this book I adore. This is Megan Quinn's How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It's got the Grinchy theme. This is a big chunker. So you got to read about 40 pages a day if you want to read this in 10 days. So I'll just read you the back. Well, I am a good chunk in, about 190 pages. So this book is about an elderly lady. Her name is Aunt Cindy, who hurts her hip, although she's kind of playing it up. She has her two nieces come to help her. She's like the Christmas queen of her town. The two nieces arrive to come take care of her at Christmas time, and everything is like Grinch land. They're all disappointed because the aunt didn't decorate. It's not this beautiful Christmas wonderment of their childhood. I don't know if she raised them, I guess. That part isn't clear, but anyway, this is very Hallmark movie-ish, but in a much more modern, fun, funny kind of a way. The town every year has like a Kringle competition, who's the most Christmassy house or person in town, and the aunt wins year after year. She can't do it this year, so she has Story, who is one of the more creative and fun, not so uptight of the two sisters, take over for her. There's a guy next door who's this heartthrob, of course, who has a back history in teenage years with Story. Story's the name of Storee of the main the niece. And of course they're competitors. They're hating each other. The next door neighbors who can outdo the other. You know how in The Grinch, the mom of Cindy Lou Who and the next door neighbor who's the sexy one who falls in love with the Grinch, whose name I can't remember. She has like the big old like light gun, and she's putting him up on the house, and Cindy Lou's mom is like, oh, how did you do that? It's like that. Two neighbors going against each other who can win the contest, who's going to do the best of every single Christmas task that's given to them for the contest. It is very funny. It's really good. It's really cute. A little too much dialogue at parts where I want to get into some more action and Christmas description, but again, I'm only like 100, I got like 400 pages to go. No, sorry, how many pages are there? No, there's 460, so I got about 240 pages to go. But it is good. It's cute. I'm enjoying it. There are a few, there's an illustration I just caught in here somewhere. Yes, there's some black and white, few black and white illustrations that, where's, kind of, just a couple that I was surprised to see. Is that looking, that kind of give away the scene that goes in accompaniment to the best scene. There's a scene when they're doing like a stage competition and the heartthrob guy dresses up like the Grinch and does kind of like a Chip and Dale kind of a scene, but in like a Grinch costume, like the classic Grinch scene when the Grinch is getting dressed to go to town and he's like, oh, this makes me look fat, like all that. But anyway, so yeah, there are some illustrations in here that show classic scenes. That's some of the best scenes in the book. So that's as far as I got so far. Let's move on to the next. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is I chose these selections for my December 9 reads based on the adorable, cute, vintage, artsy style, cute, holiday rom-com-ish cover. The bad news is I did not even realize until I started reading Fun Little Porn Book here that these two books were from the same series. I'm like, no, I just realized that the other day. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So this says best-selling author of A Little Merry Meet Cute. So this is, I think, the third. This might be the first, or the one I'm reading now is the first. I don't know. But again, misleading. These are cute, holiday, sweet, atmospheric, like Christmas-style books that would make a beautiful collection. In fact, I wish I had the hardback in the other one because as much as I'm not enjoying the aspects of it. But yeah, they're really cute. Look at, they're like, the art is beautiful. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no clue when I picked these for my reading list, my TBR, that these were all the same author, because I bought all these on Amazon as newest holiday recommendations. I read reviews. I got it was right before my surgery. I just started picking some that were getting like top stars. I didn't read the reviews, so I didn't know they were the same series. So I hope we get past the obsession with orgasms that came in the other one and move on to something better. But let's read this. What happens when there are no vacancies at the inn and you and your potentially demonic cat become roommates with your grumpy one-night stand? Part-time adult film actress, one-time adult film director, and makeup artist Sunny Palmer has accidentally sold her very first screenplay for the Hope Channel. Yeah, I was telling you it's called Hope Flicks or something like that. That was 6 months ago. Fast forward to a looming deadline, and a floundering Sunny has returned to the source of her inspiration, Christmas Notch, Vermont. Another thing, yes, this series takes place in this cute little New England Hallmark, Lifetime, Great American Family, snowy little Christmas town called Christmas Notch, and that is not what you, like, it just, the style of the genre of the book does not match the content. It's a huge F up, in my opinion. I don't like it. I don't like the misleading, use the cute cover, the style to lure people in to be getting like an erotica novel. But anyway, but I'm not against erotica novels. Like, if I know that's what I'm reading, but I wasn't really into like an erotica Christmas novel. That's not what I was looking for. But anyway, whatever. Okay, so let's look at Isaac, former boy band heartthrob and the saddest boy in the music biz, is the latest owner of the town's historic mansion after putting his record label on hold for years. While he recovered from the heartbreak following the death of his young wife, Isaac has been given an ultimatum: write some new music or lose his contract. What better place to attempt his first solo holiday album than a snow-covered mansion where he can become a hermit in peace in Christmas Notch? So we have Sunny Palmer. That's a different adult film star than in the first one. So I guess B or Bianca from the first book is telling all her porn friends, go to Christmas Notch. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So next we have the Holly Jolly Ever After. I'm just like kicking my own butt here. I don't know if this is the first one. Oh, this is the first book. So I'm currently reading the second book. I didn't even realize it. Okay. Callum Lieberman is the funny one. As arguably lesser of the three former members of the boy band Inc., he enjoyed his 15 minutes of fame and then moved home, where he opened a regional pizza chain called Slice. Yeah, and in the book I'm reading, they do refer to Callum a lot, and I didn't know who he was. He opened a pizza place called Slice Baby. He's living his best bad boy, dad boy life, hooking up with bridesmaids at all his friends' weddings. But after an old one-off sex tape is leaked and more porn stuff is leaked and quickly goes viral, Callum decides he's ready to step into the spotlight again, starring in a sexy Santa biopic for the Hope Channel. Winnie Baker did everything right. She married her childhood sweetheart, avoided the pitfalls of adolescent stardom, and transitioned into a stable acting career as an adult. Hell, she even waited until marriage to have sex. But after her perfect life falls apart, Winnie is ready to redefine herself, and what better way to do that than to star in a steamier than steaming hot mug of cider Christmas movie? Oh, is it a sex movie? I'm going to read this next. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give the whole series a read, and I'm going to give my final opinion. So, nothing like a fun little holiday surprise, right? All right. Next, I have the beautiful and gorgeous. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which just means, I think the cover's a little different, but this is Stephanie Garber's Spectacular. It's a Caraval series novel. Caraval is a best-selling fantasy book right now, which was a lot of people reading over Halloween, but this is a holiday novel. But look at, it's got like a carnival poster for a background. I don't know if the non-Barnes & Noble version of this has a different back cover. Holiday novella, illustrated. Okay, yeah, so this one is illustrated. Yeah, so if you look at, and I'm going to link all of these books you see below. I'll link the Barnes & Noble and the Amazon edition. I have found some special editions on Amazon that were on Barnes & Noble, so I don't know. So we have, it's a really pretty book, very holiday-ish. Ooh, illustrations. Let's see. Oh, look at the color map. And, of course, illustrations throughout the book. So yeah, oh my gosh, I love it. I should have read this one first. Okay, let's see what it says. It's Great Holiday Eve. Scarlet Dragnet is planning a spectacular holiday celebration for the city. Donatella is searching for the perfect gift. Julian is looking ridiculously handsome in green. And Legend is not fond of the great holiday. Tella is hoping her perfect gift will change his mind. Unfortunately, she hasn't found this perfect gift yet, but it is Great Holiday Eve's Eve. Surely there's some holiday magic swirling somewhere. Set right after the best-selling Caraval series, this delightful novella will take readers on the ultimate holiday adventure full of clockwork boys, poisoned candy, impish snow globes, merriment, and true love. Gorgeously illustrated version. Yeah, so it's magic. It's a fantasy. It was more of a darker, Halloweenish one for October if you read Caraval, but it's beautiful and I love it. So that's my other read. I can't tell you anything about these books until the end. And my back is super sore. All right, the last one I'm reading, second to last one I'm reading is December to Remember by Jenny Bablis. This is supposed to be a cute rom-com. Okay, let's just find out what this says. And I knew it was about three half-sisters who come together for a will reading, that they're estranged. That much I knew. A friend of mine read this and recommended it. Three bickering half-sisters, one unique antique shop, the coziest holiday season of their lives. Yeah, and the other Christmas Notch series books, they have a cozy holiday feel, right? That's not like the reading vibe you get when you read it. Anyway, wildly different half-sisters, Maggie, Simone, and Star have hardly seen one another since their sprightly summers at Rowan Thorpe, their eccentric father, Augustus' home. Known for his bustling approach to the knick-knack antique shop he ran, Augustus was loved by all, known by none, not even his daughters. Years later, the three estranged women are called upon for the reading of his will and quickly realize he's orchestrated a series of hoops through which they must jump to unlock their inheritance, the last thing any of them wanted to ever do, but Maggie and Star desperately need the money. Through hilarious goose chases, small-town mishaps, and one heartwarming winter solstice celebration, love is in the air, if only the three of them can grasp it. So this one will be a lot happier, a little bit kinder and more festive feeling than filming a halfway porn Christmas movie. Okay, I have one left that I'm going to be reading. It's in a box. It's a LitJoy, so I'm going to go get it and open it here on camera. So I purchased this last month on LitJoy. It arrived damaged, unfortunately, because it was padded poorly. It's a special Christmas version of a book. It's my favorite book of all time ever. You could probably guess what it is, but I'm going to show you anyway. LitJoy box. And here's it. They actually wrapped it. Let's make sure. The other one I got had a crushed spine. So let's see how this looks. This looks beautiful. This is a free replacement. Perfectly gorgeous. And it is a special illustrated limited edition Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. Absolutely gorgeous with the gold foil, slim hardback. It's a collector's version. It's got the gold here like Easton Press has with the gold. Christmas Carol was obviously written by Charles Dickens. I believe it was published in 1843. It was, I think it was 1843. December 19th is when it released. It was sold out by Christmas Eve, the first printing. It was the first book of its time. It took the world by storm. Oh, how's that new book smell? Here's the inside cover. I read Christmas Carol every year. I usually read my beautiful Easton Press leather-bound edition, which I will show you in a video. However, I wanted to read a different version, and the Eastern Press one is humongous because it has some other Christmas Charles Dickens stuff in it. Preface. I have endeavored in this ghostly little book to raise the ghost of an idea which shall not put my readers out of humor with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it. One of those, this Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens is really the book that set the stage for how we celebrate Christmas today. It is so iconic. It is, it shared with the world and spread to America that this is what makes a quintessential Christmas. The feasting, the dancing, the gift giving, the holiday turkey, the spirit of Christmas. And it really, obviously it's been redone in probably dozens of movie versions, some not so good. My favorite passage is the one with the ghost and the chains, and of course, I'm an English teacher, right? I teach literature, teach college, so let me see if I can find some better. Any full-size illustrations? Yes, there are. I often use A Christmas Carol to teach what makes exquisite descriptive writing. I also teach writing. Descriptive writing is writing that sets the scene, where you use senses like sight, touch, sound, taste, visual to bring the scene to life. So let me see if I can find my favorite passage. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. Go help him. It was my brand new, I bought myself, whoever invented Black Friday should be shot, but I bought myself a new iMac, the pink iMac computer. I've always wanted an iMac. I've been wanting it for years. I sold about 6 of my Victorian collectible dolls to pay for it, because I have like 200 of them, and I'm excited, but I can't, my son just whisked it away, so I can't open it until Christmas. Okay, so the scene where Scrooge is described is one of the most brilliant examples of descriptive writing in literature. The other one I can think of is The Little Mermaid, the Real Little Mermaid fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. Has amazing, brilliant, gorgeous, spectacular writing that just blows out of the water anything you can see like in the Disney movie. But I'm going to read this to you. And you think about characterization, if you're a writer, how to describe a character that becomes iconic, culturally memorable, and classic to where no one will ever forget him. This description of Scrooge is what made the book. Okay. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. That line is famous. That line with nothing else after it describes it to a T, where that's all you need. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck one generous fire. secret and self-contained and solitary as an oyster. Solitary as an oyster who's locked up tight in a shell where no one can get to. Think about that analogy, like how well that describes him. Solitary as an oyster. The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice. A frosty rime was on his head, R-I-M-E, and on his eyebrows. Frosty is like a rhyme is like a glisten, I believe. A frosty rime was on his head and his eyebrows and his wiry chin. He carried his own low temperature. He carried a low temperature, which you're trying to describe Scrooge as this cold, freezing, emotionally, psychologically, behaviorally cold, unsocial person to avoid. But they take the wintry cold of like the Christmas season in Britain, in Victorian England, and put it into his features. They, as in Charles Dickens. I mean, he carried his own low temperature always about him. He iced his office in the dog days and didn't thaw it 1 degree at Christmas. External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm, no wintry weather chill him, no wind that blew was bitterer than he, no falling snow was more intent upon its purpose, no pelting rain less open to entreaty. Foul weather didn't know where to have him. The heaviest rain and snow and hail and sleet could boast of the advantage over him in only one respect. They often came down handsomely, and Scrooge never did, as he never came down from his position of isolation. No one had ever stopped him in the street to say with gladsome looks, "Dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what it was o'clock. No man or woman ever once in all his life inquired the way to such and such a place of Scrooge. Even the blind men's dogs appeared to know him, and when they saw him coming, would tug their owners into doorways and up courts, and they would wag their tails as though they said, "No eye at all is better than an evil, dark-eyed master." But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance, was what the knowing ones called nuts to Scrooge. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in the counting house, and then it goes on to setting the scene, the first scene in the counting house of A Christmas Carol. So nowhere in literature, I would say, outside of Hans Christian Andersen, it's pretty close, is there ever such a character so exquisitely, beautifully described that the whole entire book now supports the description given of him. It ties it into the weather, it ties it into emotions, the physical, the environment, the mental, the psychological, the social aspects of how others view him in one paragraph description. It is brilliant and is my favorite book of all time, always has been. So I'm going to do a free reads, I think on my channel coming up here, maybe in the next week. So keep an eye out. That is the 9 books I'm reading for Christmas. Keep an eye out for the video of how to read 9 books a month, or 108 books per year as a New Year's goal. And I'll tell you specifically how to do it, including scheduling, planning, and how I use it in my app. Thanks everybody for watching. I linked all these books below. I hope you find something you like.